If war suddenly reaches your city tonight, what will you do in the first hour? War rarely arrives with a clear warning. One evening, everything is still normal. The news is still broadcasting, stores are still open, the streets are still full of people. And then, within just a few minutes, everything can change. Electricity begins to flicker. The internet becomes unstable. Phones start vibrating non-stop with panicked messages. In moments like that, what puts many civilians in danger is not always bombs or gunfire. It is the wrong decisions made during the first hour. In reality, the first 60 minutes of a crisis often determine whether you can stabilize the next 72 hours or not. That is why in today's video, we will talk about the 10 most important things you should do immediately if war suddenly reaches your city. And especially, the third point is a mistake that many people make during a crisis, even though they believe they are doing the right thing. 1. Do not leave your home immediately when news of war or retaliation begins to appear. The first reaction of many people is to leave their homes as quickly as possible. They want to go outside to see what is happening. They want to get in the car and leave the city before things become worse. But in many real crises, those first minutes are actually the most dangerous time to move. Imagine an ordinary evening. You are at home with your family. Your phone begins vibrating non-stop with urgent messages. On the screen, news headlines appear about attacks and the possibility of further retaliation. Outside, the sound of engines revving and car horns fills the air as many people try to leave the neighborhood. Some people run outside to see what is happening. Some rush into their cars, hoping to get ahead of the crowd. And others stand by the window, looking out at their familiar street, but for the first time feeling that it is no longer safe. It is in those first minutes that the most dangerous mistakes often happen. When panic sets in, people tend to move immediately, even though they do not yet know which areas are dangerous or which roads have already been blocked. In many emergencies, within just 20 to 30 minutes, major roads can turn into massive traffic jams as thousands of people try to leave the city at the same time. And a car trapped in a wave of panic is rarely a safe place to be. That is why many civil safety experts give advice that sounds contrary to instinct. During the first hour, staying still is often safer than running. Instead of rushing outside, stay inside your home and move to a safer space such as a basement or an interior room without windows. This reduces the risk from debris, broken glass, and dangers coming from outside. More importantly, it gives you something that many people do not have in a crisis: time to think and make the right decisions for your family. Because in war, the first 60 minutes often determine how you and your family will experience the next 72 hours. And sometimes the first right decision is simply not stepping outside when everything is still unclear. 2. Decide quickly. Stay or leave after you have managed to stay calm and control the initial flow of information. A very important question will appear: stay or leave? This is one of the hardest decisions during the first hours of a crisis. Many people believe that leaving the city as quickly as possible is the safest option. But in reality, that is not always true. The first thing you need to do is evaluate your location. If you live near areas with high strategic value, such as military bases, power plants, government centers, or crowded downtown districts, the likelihood of that area becoming a target in a conflict may be higher. In such situations, leaving early before the roads become congested can sometimes be the more reasonable choice. But if you are in the suburbs, in a residential neighborhood with little strategic importance, or inside a solid building, staying and sheltering is often much safer than rushing onto the roads with thousands of other people. In many emergencies, Within just 30 to 60 minutes, major roads can become completely blocked as people try to leave the city at the same time. A car trapped in a wave of panic is not a safe place, especially when you do not know what is happening ahead. Imagine a scene that can easily happen during a crisis. Traffic lights begin blinking because of power outages. Main roads become packed with cars in a very short time. Horns sound everywhere. Some people try to turn their cars around in the middle of the road. Others stop in the street to call their relatives. In a situation like that, moving is not only slow, but can also become dangerous. That is why the most dangerous thing is not always staying or leaving. The most dangerous thing is hesitating too long between the two choices. When you hesitate, you may lose the valuable time needed to prepare, move, or take proper shelter. So after evaluating your location, make a clear decision and act on it. If you decide to leave, do it early and with a plan. If you decide to stay, focus on strengthening your shelter and preparing for the hours ahead. In a crisis, clarity in decision-making is often more important than searching for the perfect option. 3. Control information in the first few minutes of a crisis. The fastest thing to spread is not bombs or gunfire. It is rumors. Just a few minutes after an event happens, social media can be flooded with hundreds of different pieces of information. Unverified reports, false claims, or old videos reposted with captions saying this is happening right now. In reality, within just 10 to 15 minutes, an unverified rumor can spread across an entire neighborhood or even a whole city. An old video can make hundreds of people believe their area is under attack. And when people react to incorrect information at the same time, panic can spread faster than any other danger. Imagine a scene that is very familiar during a crisis. The electricity in your home is still on, but the internet begins to flicker. Your phone screen keeps lighting up with new notifications. Outside the window, the street that is usually quiet suddenly becomes chaotic as a few cars rush out of the neighborhood. In the living room, someone in your family asks what is happening. The children look at you waiting for an answer, but you yourself still do not know what is real. In many conflicts around the world, misinformation sometimes causes more chaos than the attacks themselves. Just one old video can make an entire neighborhood believe their area is being targeted. And with only one unverified message, hundreds of people may leave a safe place at the same time. That is why during the first hour of a crisis, do something very simple. Limit your sources of information. Choose only one or two reliable sources, such as national broadcast agencies or official emergency alert systems. Check information periodically, for example, every 30 or 60 minutes. This helps you understand the situation without being pulled into the chaotic stream of news. One viewer once commented under a video about this topic that you should always have a battery-powered radio to listen to the news. In many emergency situations, the internet and phone networks may stop working, but radio remains one of the most stable ways to receive official announcements. In war, panic often begins with chaotic information. If you allow your phone to control your emotions, you may easily make the wrong decisions. But if you control the information you receive, you will keep calm for yourself and for your family. And in a situation where everything feels unstable, that calmness may become your greatest advantage. 4. Charge all electronic devices in many crises around the world. One of the systems that is disrupted the earliest is not transportation or the internet. It is electricity. It only takes one substation or a major power line to fail, and an entire area can fall into darkness within minutes. And when electricity disappears, Many of the things we rely on every day disappear with it. Light, internet, phone signals, and the ability to charge devices. So if electricity is still available in your home right now, take advantage of it immediately. Plug in and charge every important device you have. Phones, power banks, laptops, rechargeable flashlights, radios. Any device that can help you communicate or see in the dark is worth charging fully. A fully charged phone can help you stay in contact with family during the first 12 to 24 hours. And sometimes just one call at the right moment can help everyone know that they are still safe. Imagine a situation that can easily happen during a crisis. Just a few minutes ago, your house was still brightly lit. But suddenly, the entire neighborhood falls into darkness. Streetlights go out. The windows around you slowly go dark. And inside the room, the only light left may be the screen of the phone in your hand. In moments like that, a fully charged flashlight can help you move safely around the house. A radio with working batteries can help you hear emergency announcements. And a power bank can keep your phone running for many more hours when everything around you begins losing connection. One viewer once shared in the comment section of a video about crisis preparation that he always keeps 2 fully charged power banks at home, because in a blackout situation, the phone is the only thread still connecting you to the outside world. These steps only take a few minutes, but in a crisis, a few minutes of preparation while electricity is still available can make a huge difference a few hours later. Because once the darkness arrives, you will not have a second chance to charge those devices. 5. Store water immediately. When people think about a crisis, many focus on food. They think about rice, canned goods, or things that can be eaten for many days. But in reality, the most important thing during the first hours of a crisis is water. Humans can survive many days without food. But without water, the body can become endangered in about 3 days. An adult usually needs about 3 to 4 liters of water each day just for drinking and maintaining basic body functions. That means a family of 4 may need more than 12 liters of water every day. In many conflicts or major disasters, urban water supply systems are often disrupted very quickly. It only takes a power outage at a pumping station or damage to a major pipe, and water pressure across an entire area can drop sharply within just a few hours. So if water is still running in your home right now, take advantage of it immediately. Fill water into anything that can hold it. Bathtubs, large pots, buckets, plastic bottles, storage containers. Just a few dozen liters of water stored early can help your family have enough drinking water and basic hygiene for the first days of a crisis. Imagine a morning when you turn on the faucet and only a few drops come out before it stops completely. At that moment, having water stored in your home is no longer extra preparation. It may become the thing that helps your family get through the hardest first days. If you find information like this helpful for your family, please subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next videos about how to prepare and stay safe during crises. And I am also curious about one thing. If the water system in your city stopped working today, how many days of water does your family currently have? Please share in the comments. If knowledge like this can help your family stay safer in unexpected situations, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the next videos. 6. Prepare an emergency bag. One of the most stressful moments during a crisis is when you hear a simple but frightening announcement. Leave the area immediately. When that happens, you usually do not have much time. It may be only a few minutes to turn off the electricity, lock the door, and leave the house. And in those minutes, the human mind often does not function normally. Stress hormones make the heart beat faster, thinking becomes disorganized, and many people begin to forget important things. They grab their phone, wallet, car keys, and run outside. But just a few minutes after leaving the house, they realize that they left behind the things they truly needed. One person once shared his story after having to evacuate urgently from the area where he lived. When the warning was issued, he had only about 10 minutes to leave. In the rush, he brought his phone and wallet, but after leaving the house and sitting in the car among the stream of people moving away, he realized that he had forgotten his heart medication, the medicine he needed to take every day. That moment made him understand something very simple, but very important. In a crisis, you rarely have time to go back and get things. That is why many experts recommend that every family prepare an emergency bag for the first 72 hours. It does not have to be a complicated bag, just a small bag placed somewhere easy to grab, containing the items that can help you manage during the first few days if you are forced to leave your home. Usually, that bag only needs very basic items: some drinking water, some compact food, important personal medications, a flashlight, and copies of necessary documents. Simple things, but in an emergency situation, they can make a very big difference. Because when you leave your home during a crisis, what you carry with you the first time may be all you have for many hours or many days afterward. And a bag prepared in advance can help you avoid one of the most common human mistakes: when everything happens too quickly. Forgetting to bring the most important thing. 7. Avoid major roads if thousands of people decide to leave the city at the same time. What happens first? The major roads become congested. On normal days, highways are designed to help people move faster. But during a crisis, when too many cars flood onto the roads at once, those same roads become the most chaotic places. In many emergency evacuations, within just 20 to 30 minutes, the main routes can begin to slow down and then almost stop completely. Long lines of cars stretch for kilometers. Traffic lights may stop working if the power goes out. Just one small accident, a stalled vehicle, or a blocked lane can paralyze an entire highway. When that happens, the highway quickly turns into a massive parking lot. Imagine sitting in your car in a line of vehicles that is barely moving. Horns are sounding everywhere. Some people step out of their cars to see what is happening ahead. Others try to turn around or change lanes. In a situation like that, the car is no longer the tool that helps you leave a dangerous area. It can trap you in the middle of the crowd for hours while you have no idea what is happening ahead. In a crisis, the most familiar road is often also the most crowded one. When everyone chooses the same direction to move, that choice itself can become the biggest bottleneck. That is why, if you are forced to move, do not think only about the major roads you use every day. Consider secondary routes, smaller neighborhood streets or local roads that fewer people notice. They may not be the fastest routes on the map during normal days, but in a crisis, they are often far less congested. A simple rule that many people who have experienced emergency evacuations often repeat is, do not follow the crowd if you have another option. When thousands of people focus on only a few major roads, the routes that fewer people think about can sometimes become the easier way out. So if you need to leave your area, take a few minutes to think before driving onto the highway. Look at the map. Remember the smaller roads you have traveled before. In a crisis, the route that fewer people know can sometimes be the safest one. And I also want to ask you something. If today you had to leave your city, do you already know which secondary route could help you avoid the most crowded roads? Please share your thoughts in the comments. 8. Prepare a shelter room inside your home. If after evaluating the situation you decide to stay, the next step is to prepare a safe shelter inside your home. In many emergency situations, most dangers to civilians do not come directly from attacks, but from very ordinary things. Broken glass, flying debris, or falling objects when shock waves occur. That is why choosing the right location inside the house can significantly reduce risk for your family. A good shelter room is usually a room deep inside the house, as far away from windows as possible. Glass windows are one of the weakest points in many homes. When there are strong vibrations or external pressure, glass can shatter and create very dangerous, sharp fragments. The location of the room is also very important. In many cases, the lower level of the house is safer because the walls are usually thicker and more stable. A bathroom can sometimes be a good option because it is often located near the center of the house and surrounded by multiple walls. After choosing the right room, prepare it as simply as possible. Close the curtains or cover the windows if there are any. Bring a few essential items into the room, such as a flashlight, a phone, and some drinking water. This helps you avoid moving around too much if the situation outside becomes dangerous. If there are children or older adults in the house, bring them into this area first so everyone stays together. In a crisis, having the entire family close to one another not only improves safety, but also helps reduce confusion and fear. A small room may not feel comfortable, but in many emergency situations, a solid space that is prepared in advance can make a very big difference. Sometimes simply being in the right place during the first hours can help your family avoid many unnecessary risks. 9. Establish a family communication plan. One of the most frightening things during a crisis is not the lack of food or the loss of electricity. It is not knowing where your loved ones are. When situations become chaotic, thousands of people try to call their families at the same time. After a short period, phone networks can become overloaded. Calls fail to connect, signals become unstable, and many people fall into anxiety simply because they cannot confirm that their loved ones are safe. Imagine an ordinary afternoon. Your child is at school. Your spouse is at work. Emergency news appears on your phone, but when you try to call them, the call does not connect. In moments like that, just a few minutes without contact can make everyone feel extremely uneasy. That is why every family should have a simple communication plan before a crisis happens. It does not need to be complicated, but it needs to be clear. Agree in advance on a meeting place if everyone becomes separated and cannot contact each other. It could be a relative's house, a familiar place in the neighborhood, or any location that everyone can easily remember. In addition, agree on a fixed time to communicate during the day. For example, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. if phone networks are still working, everyone can try to send a message or make a call during those times to update their situation. This helps avoid constant calls in a state of panic that still fail to connect. In many emergencies, text messages often work better than phone calls because they require less bandwidth and can sometimes be delivered even when networks are overloaded. That is why if you need to communicate during a crisis, keep messages very short. Simply confirm your location and that you are safe. Sometimes a simple message such as "I am safe," "I am at home," can help the entire family feel much less worried. 10. Stay calm and conserve resources. A very common mistake during the first days of a crisis is using too many resources immediately. When people become anxious, many start eating more than usual, drain the batteries of their devices on the first day, or stay awake all night following the news. But that reaction often makes the situation harder during the days that follow. The truth many people do not realize is that in many crises, people are not in danger because of a lack of resources, but because they use them too quickly on the first day. When resources are exhausted early, the following days become much more difficult. An important thing to remember is that a crisis rarely ends within a few hours. It can last for many days, sometimes even longer. That is why the best way to face it is not with rushed reactions, but by keeping your daily rhythm as stable as possible. Eat normally instead of consuming too much food on the first day. Drink water regularly to avoid dehydration, and if possible, try to rest and sleep when you have the opportunity. A tired or dehydrated body will make it harder to concentrate and easier to make wrong decisions. Think of a crisis like a marathon rather than a sprint. People who remain calm and know how to conserve their resources are often better able to adapt when the situation lasts longer. And I also want to ask you something. Among the 10 things we just discussed, which one do you think is the most important if a crisis happens tonight? Please share your thoughts in the comments. War often begins with chaos, rumors, fear, rushed decisions. But in the first hour, calmness can become your greatest advantage. You do not need to become a hero. You only need to keep a clear mind and do the basic things correctly. These 10 steps do not guarantee that everything will be perfect, but they can help you stabilize the first hours of a crisis. And sometimes, if you can stabilize the first hour, you are already ahead of many others. In war, the survivors are not always the strongest, but the ones who remain calm the longest.